Shalom and welcome to a new episode of Balaam's Corner. This Shabbat afternoon I'd like to share a few thoughts with you about the real 3D. 3D vision in the human brain gives us the impression or illusion that we are looking at things or looking out of the window on the scenery outside. The fact is that we can not look out of the window or see light itself. We only have a soul that has an interface to the biological video central processing unit in our brain. If we choose to use a computerish language, inside here in the brain, the soul perceives the bioelectrical signals as two pictures, and they are merged via the software that is built into the brain and giving us a 3D illusion of looking out of the window or at something, while in fact it is only the photons that have traveled from outside through the window and through our eye, through our lens in the eye, and hitting the retina, creating a stream of electrical signals that are sent from the retina into the brain. If you imagine that you are sitting at the beach watching a sailboat passing by about 10 meters away from the shore, and the speed of light was 10 meters per year, then maybe after a year you would see the sailboat passing by. And same way, if the signals that go from the retina to the brain need several hours per centimeter, it would also take several hours before you could see the sailboat passing by on the beach. But none of this make any problem, because the speed of light and the speed of the nerve signals are so high that nobody notice any of this delay. So thus we don't notice that we in fact does not observe reality, but a picture of reality like it was a few nanoseconds ago. That is such a short interval that we don't notice it. But if you're interested in watching the stars like me, you know that what you see in the evening night sky is not reality, it's not true. This is not the position of the stars. This is the position of the stars like they were thousands of 10,000s or millions of years ago. So because the distance is so huge and the speed of the light is high, but still the distance is so high, is so large, the distance is so large that you get this tremendous delay in time. And you are bitterly aware of the fact that you cannot observe the stars like they are right now. That is impossible. We don't have, in fact, any connection with reality as it is per now. We cannot see the stars like they are right now, and we cannot see reality around us, even these candles that you're looking at now through my camera. You cannot see them as they are. And I suppose you have noticed that one candle has gone out, and thanks to a quick speed of light and a short time from your retina to your brain, you have already observed that, and I suppose that is correct. And if you imagine now that these two screens that you have inside your brain, that is the vision cortex, they are uploaded with data signals from the retinas, and they project a picture inside your brain that has to be watched by someone. So you have the feeling that you in person are looking out of the window, looking at something, or looking at these candles you can see right now. And you can see them in 3D, what you perceive as 3D. You can see that there are depth in the picture, and you can focus on parts of it. And the reason why we perceive these two pictures that are created inside our brain as reality and reality in 3D is because they are processed by the software of the brain into one image. So it gives you the feeling of depth and perspective and 3 dimensions. The same technique, if you will, is used by TV manufacturers when they produced 3D TVs. If you look at a 3D TV, like the one I've got in my home, you can watch this TV without these special 3D glasses that separates the eyes into 2 channels. If you watch that TV, you can see that the 3D signal picture is very fuzzy, very blurred, and you cannot perceive any depth at all. It is only when you put your 3D glasses on, and these glasses separate those 2 pictures that are merged into one on the TV, and trick your brain into believing that there are 2 real pictures you are watching at. And in fact it is. They are separated now, and they go by single channels into your visual cortex, where they are fused together into a 3-dimensional picture, just like the reality you perceive when you are walking around using your own eyes. So it's the same technology. But when we come to the real 3D, the real stuff, it gets much more exciting. Let us have a look at what the Bible says. I'm reading from the first letter of John, chapter 3, verse 2. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it does not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. We shall see him as he is. Yes. And him is, of course, Jesus Christ, that is going to appear at his coming. And he is promised to transform us and give us the same kind of body that he has. And we know that from the testimonies about his resurrection, that he could walk through the walls. He could come and go as he wanted. He was immortal. He was able to eat honeycomb and bread and fish, and still he was a spirit with immense power and glory, immortal. And I believe that that vision that Jesus has and that we are going to have is the real stuff. I hope you believe the same. And from these many reports we have from people that have died on the operation table during surgery or other situations, traffic accidents, they have died and been resuscitated and come back to life. They have told about their experience about meeting Jesus in heaven and how they perceived reality there. They tell stories that reports about infinitely more visual clarity, with infinitely many more colors, with an undescribable vibrancy. They also report that they have a clear field of view, almost 360 degrees around their head, and in the whole field of view, not just the central point like we have in our human eyes. And there, I suppose you noticed second light went out as programmed. And they report that they have telephoto view and wide-angle view at the same time. And that leads me to think that we are going to see reality like it is. We are going to see Jesus Christ like he really is, just like I read for you from the first letter of John. We are going to see everything in real 3D. And I suppose that this model, supported by all the NDE stories, the near-death experiences, this model consists of a vision that is not based on photons, not based on the speed of light. So I suppose that you will see everything, even a far distant object, like it really is right now, without any kind of time delay. So if you would look at the stars in this capacity, I suppose you would see them like they are and not like they were thousands of millions of years ago. I hope this is an eye-opener to you, that you can see that you, in fact, are a soul, the light of God that he put into you when you were created in your mother's womb. You grew inside your human body. Your soul grew with your body. Your soul had the capacity to perceive with vision, with hearing, and all the senses. But be aware that these senses, they belong to the soul and the spirit. And when you are put into a human body, like a hand fits into its glove, just like the hand gives life to the glove, your spirit and soul gives life to your body. And the vision and the hearing that you experience are capacities that come from eternity, from God. So when your soul, your spirit, is inside your body, it is connected to your brain, your nerve system, through this biological interface that makes it possible for your soul to read this world, this reality, by the help of your very limited human eye and human ear. But as soon as you die, your heart stops and you stop breathing, you stop living, your soul pops out of your body again. And to the great surprise of almost everyone that had a near-death experience, when this happens, you do not lose your senses. You can still see. I refer to Vicky Noratuk, for example. You can find interviews with her on YouTube. She was born blind, and because of a mistake that was done when she was at the hospital, she had too much oxygen and she was premature, so it damaged her ocular nerve and her vision nerve. She reported that when she died after a traffic accident, she could suddenly see. She had been blind all her life. And it was a very scary experience for her in the beginning. But she was taken into heaven. She met Jesus. And she came back to earth. and when she came back, entered back into her body, she was blind again. Many other stories like this about blind people that have died, been able to see for the first time in their life, and then returned to their body and been blind again. And they come back and report about what they have experienced. All these stories, they support the model that I just sketched for you, that all the senses belong to the soul, and they are completely intact the moment you die. And when you enter into heaven with your spirit, with your soul, you are given a new spiritual body, and you experience, I suppose, to see Jesus just like he is after the promise. And that is the real 3D. That is the real stuff. No delay there. No simplifications. The real stuff. You see the whole picture. And everything is in focus. So I hope that is going to clear up a lot of things for you about the soul, the spirit, and the life after. God bless you. Love you. Take care.